Hey everybody, it is Jay Baer, founder of Convince and Convert, and welcome to another episode of Marketing Marvels, the show where I show you marketing technology that I really believe in that you should consider using in your own organization. Every episode of Marketing Marvels interviews somebody who's a prominent person in the SaaS industry, marketing technology industry. We do a quick demo of the software, answer some questions, and get on with your day. And I could not be more fired up about this episode of Marketing Marvels because this is one of the marketing technology sort of productivity platforms that I use every single day. In fact, I will tell you this, Marketing Marvels fans, I use this software more than any other software in the entire world other than like Gmail. Okay, so this is probably the second most used piece of software in my entire life. I literally could not run my business without Teamwork. And to tell us a little bit about the Teamwork Productivity Suite is Katriona O'Mahony, who's the Product Marketing Manager, joining us live from Cork, Ireland. Katriona, how are you? Welcome to Marketing Marvels.
Thanks, Jay. Really excited to be here.
I am really, as I mentioned, fired up about this episode because we moved to Teamwork several years ago at Convince and Convert, and we use it to manage everything in our organization. So every project like Marketing Marvels, every podcast, every email, every ebook, every client consulting project, every speech I give all around the world, it's all contained in Teamwork and keeps us organized and on time. And it has been an absolute godsend. So tell us a little bit about Teamwork. I mean, it's interesting because it does so many things, and you guys keep adding more and more sort of modules and elements to the program.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, Teamwork is a project management software at its core. But I guess a lot of teams find it useful for the reasons you just mentioned. You know, it increases massively your online team collaboration and increases productivity. And I guess there's a lot of software tools out there, especially for marketers, that help us to discover the customer's journey, to communicate with them, to get content out to them. But there's very few tools that help us to actually plan all that work and like contain it all in one place, and help us to really sit down and kind of execute on our strategy. So Teamwork is really valuable in that it keeps the whole team on one page, keeps everything all in one place, and just makes it really, really easy to get work done and be productive.
Yeah, the notifications are great. So if I've got something due, I get the notification that, hey, you're behind on this, or it's really fantastic. The calendaring and sort of the way projects are created was why we first initially switched to Teamwork, because you can create a date in the future. In my case, give a presentation on July 1st, and then create a project plan backwards from the date of the event. And most project management systems don't do that. They allow you to start date and say plus 2 days, plus 7 days, plus 14 days, plus 28 days. Teamwork allows you to work backwards, which isn't something that everybody needs, but boy, do I need it. And it has been absolutely amazing. We can't show people everything that Teamwork does because it really is a full-featured productivity suite that has messaging and accountability and calendaring and file storage and lots of stuff. So we're not going to show everything because that would take a while. But you want to show us some of the highlights?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, she's going to share her screen and show us some of the key points here. And I am not the Teamwork expert in my organization. Our head of operations is the true Teamwork genius. So I'm sure there's going to be things in this Marketing Marvels demo that I'm going to be like, oh, no way, I didn't know we could do that. It's going to be like some sort of revolutionary circumstance for me. So I'm excited for that. Okay, we can see your screen, Katriona.
Okay, awesome. So just going to give a quick run through. So as I mentioned, we have a lot of tools that help us to communicate with customers and get our content out there. But for our marketing team, Teamwork Projects really helps us to actually get our work done, to plan out our goals, our annual strategy and our quarterly goals, really kind of get those all together and keep all the team on the same page. So I've just set up a few projects for you guys to show you some of my favorite things about how we use the product, and some of the ways I think it's really useful for marketers. So I guess just to give you a quick run through of how the product looks and how it's set up. And by the way, as we're going through this, I think you guys will really see how easy it is to use and how intuitive the product is. And one of the things that a lot of our customers comment on about the product is just how easy it is to customize to your own workflows. So no matter what kind of team you are, how many people you have on your team, how many different types of skill sets or departments you're working across, it's really, really easy to customize your Teamwork projects and your workflows across all of those different things. So,
and I would also that it's also really easy to change. So one of the things I like about teamwork is if you have a standard way of doing things. So this is how we do an ebook, and it's this step and then this step and then this step. And then you decide to change that process for some reason. It's very, very easy to go in and edit your workflows in teamwork and modify it to say, okay, now this person has to approve, or we skip this step. You don't have to start over. You can go in there and tweak it very, very quickly. And I like that a lot.
Absolutely. So just jumping into the first screen, you come up to the dashboard. So this is the screen you land on as soon as you come into the product. And here on the left-hand side is where you'll see all the projects that you're a part of. And then in the middle is the activity view. So that gives you a view of every thing that's happening across all of the projects that you're part of, and just gives you that kind of quick catch-up view, I guess, to see what everyone is working on. You can also customize this view just to limit it down to your own tasks as well. Like everything in Teamwork projects, we provide a lot of different types of filters and views to let you view information through different types of angles. You can also check up here for any late tasks that might be assigned to you, any tasks that are due today, some upcoming tasks, upcoming milestones, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a second, and some upcoming events as well. And there's also a little pane here for you to customize the dashboard for yourself and your team so that you can provide links to any resources or any folders that your team might need to have access to. So just to jump in here to a project and show you the architecture of how a project is set up. So when you jump into a project, it's always really useful. For example, we'll take Marketing 2018 to set some of your marketing goals or objectives as milestones. So as you mentioned, milestones are something that is kind of a phase in the project, or it's a goal or a point in time to get to on the project. So for example, I've selected here to launch a new product. And so we can see that that's due in 4 days at the end of the quarter. And so you can associate a list of tasks with this milestone. So for example, your messaging, your competitor analysis, your website, and all of these are task lists. So in any one task list, you basically have a group of tasks. You can add as many as you want in terms of the tasks. You could also break them down further into subtasks. And just to give you an idea of the anatomy of a task. So one of the good things about Teamwork projects is that it's so feature rich, but you can use as many or as few of the features as you want, or however it works best for your team. So you can assign the task to a particular person, or you can also assign to multiple people. You can also notify those people by email if that works better for your organization. And you can pick a start and due date, of course, for the task as well. You can also add a little description to give yourself context if it's your own task, or to give another person more information if you're assigning it to someone else. You have the ability to attach files to a task. You can lock down the privacy of a task. And it's really important at this stage as well to actually highlight just how granular the permission levels are on Teamwork projects. So we allow you to customize your permission levels really to bespoke across every project. So for example,
all the way down to the subtask level, like
absolutely.
Any individual thing. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah, so that's a really great feature that our customers love as well. You can also prioritize the tasks. You can choose the level of priority. You can, if you want, you can decide how much progress level you've made on your tasks. You can also add estimated time as to how far you think you're going to be left to complete the task. You could also, this is a great feature as well, you can add a follower to the task. So say, for example, if somebody just wants to keep in the loop on the task, but they don't necessarily have to action anything on it, you can decide to give them all the notifications or just the comment notifications. Again, it really depends on how you want to set it up for your team, but it's a really useful feature. You can also add tasks that are dependent. So for example, we know that the parent task in this situation is the website. So all of these subtasks will need to be completed before that one can be completed. And that just lets you know that there. You could also set the task to repeat, which as we know as marketers is really useful because you might have things that you need to do every week or every month or every 2 weeks, depending.
We use that all the time. We podcast every week. We've got email every week. We've got a lot of things that happen on a very consistent schedule. And that ability to just automatically launch a new project 7 days down the road, 30 days down the road is amazing.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And we're the same. So we set reminders for things that we always need to do every week, which is great. Another thing you can do here is add tags to your projects. So for example, we use this for different types of content. If a project is related to a different product, if it's assigned to a different person or department, the tags are really useful. And there's also the board view. You
can search by tag then to find incidences of things that are for a particular product, et cetera.
Absolutely. And then I'll jump into the board view in just a second as well. But that just gives you an idea of the anatomy of some of the tasks and how they're set up. So then just jumping into this content marketing project that I set up for you guys to take a quick look at that. And I'll just mention, as I'm on this view, the overview view of the task as well, or of the project, is a really great, gives you a really great breakdown as to what's happening on the task. So for example, here is where you can see all the tasks that have been started, any of those tasks that are late. You can see, which is especially useful, the breakdown of everyone's workflow. So for example, you can see here that I've been assigned most of the tasks in this project, and usually you'll have a list of other users down here. And it's a great way for like a manager or a supervisor or team lead to be able to get an overview of who on the team has maybe a little bit more bandwidth, who can take on more tasks, or who's doing more work, and it just gives you that kind of top level overview. And so just to jump in here to the board view, I'll just show you. So you can access the board view by just clicking up here. And this is an example of a feature that we use a lot as part of our marketing team at Teamwork. So for example, this is a sample content marketing workflow that I've set up. So basically on the board is where you have columns and you have cards for each column. And so it just gives you a really visual workflow that everyone can stay on the same page with what's going on with this process. So as you know, content marketing is one of the things that probably every marketing team has in common. And it's kind of hard to keep track of what stage each piece of content is at, whether it needs design, whether it needs editing or publishing or proofreading. So the board view is a really easy way to keep track of all of that. So you can really easily just move cards from one board to another. So for example, if we have a board here, we want to edit, we want to move it into having graphics, we can just bring it across here. The other great thing about these boards is that they have automated triggers. So for example, if I have a trigger set up for this graphics board so that any card that I move in here gets reassigned to our graphic designer. So you just set these up like so. You can go in here and you can see that I have triggers set up. So I can add any card that goes in here will get assigned to Emma, our designer, for example.
So as soon as you drag it over to graphics, then the designer gets the notification that says, this is now ready for graphics and execute on these tasks.
Absolutely. So as you see here, if I just drag this in, it'll change to Emma's profile. So it's been automatically reassigned to her. I've also got a trigger set up for this published column, for example, where if I drag a card into this, it's automatically going to be completed. So you can see there that it's just come up that it's auto completed the task. So those are really a great way to keep efficiencies on your tasks or on your workflow as well, and just really save you a lot of time with following up with people. It lets people know what they need to do, so it keeps the designers, backlog full of tasks that they need to do, and keeps on top of everything that they know they have in their list that's a priority. And you can also just add.
What's the difference between the green outlines and the ones that are not outlined in green?
So the green is when those are complete, and then the ones that are not green are not complete yet. Okay. So great. Yeah, I think I set up this trigger maybe after I had moved that task in there. So that's probably why that was confusing you a little bit. But so yeah, I mean, we use it a lot for a lot of different things. People use it as well for design production. So for example, if you're getting requests for collateral and stuff like that from your sales team, you can use a board view for that also, which works really well. And I'll just kind of jump in and show you some of the other aspects of a project. So we just spoke about the milestones earlier. That's where you can add your milestones and associate task lists to those milestones also. The other thing is that Teamwork Projects is great for keeping all your communications in one place. So for example, there's a messages feature on every project. So you can send a message to everyone on the project, just giving them an update about something that's happening. People can add a reply, or they can add comments, they can add file attachments. So it's just a really great way to keep everything in the same place. There's also a section for uploading files. So any files that you upload in comments on tasks, or any files that you send by link, they'll all appear here in this section. And you can also just upload your own files there as well. You can also log time on tasks. So this is a great one for marketing agencies who need to, log billable hours to clients. They find that really, really useful. There's also notebooks, so you can have different things. I suppose these are better for things that aren't likely to change very often in terms of like concrete product information. For example, you could also put client briefs in there. We find these really useful for meeting notes. The other great thing about notebooks is that that's
what I use it for. For every speech that I give all around the world, we create a notebook for every presentation, and we put what's the audience, when is it, what time is it, how long do I speak, and sort of the contract terms and things like that. And then when we start to do prep phone calls with the meeting planner, we put all the meeting notes and the call notes in there as well. So when I go to prepare the slides for each presentation, I just go into the notebook and everything I need is right there in one place.
Yeah, and it's really useful for that. And the other thing that's great, and about the example that you gave as well, is that you can look at the versions of the notebooks. So you can even check out all the different versions that you would have done before and the content that was added since the first version. And then you can also compare those versions as well. So it will tell you what was added and would highlight what was added to each different version, which people find really useful for things like meetings and different notes as well. There's also an area where you can add links. If you're like our marketing team, we use a lot of stuff on Google Drive. So we can link there to a lot of the folders that we're using or a lot of different Google Docs. It's really, really handy. This section will just give you an overview of the comments that are on each different task as well. You'll also have an area where you can see the people that are on every project, and just to note as well that you can customize people's privacy settings, and we've got really, really granular levels of user permissions for people as well, which people find really useful. On each different project, you can also enable what features you want to have available on that project. So an admin will be able to set up a project so that it doesn't have messages if they don't want people using messages, or if they don't want people to use milestones, or whatever the case may be. It's just another way that you can really customize the project to your own workflow.
One thing I'll mention on the people side real quick is that as a consultancy, sometimes we will include clients on projects as well and give them access to Teamwork to look at files and progress reports and things like that. And so you can have individuals from outside your core organization have the ability to look at individual projects, individual tasks, individual notebooks inside your Teamwork instance, which can be really, really useful when you have collaborators who are outside your key organization.
Absolutely, and it's collaborators are offered on all of our plans, and every type of plan has unlimited free collaborators, so it's something that people find really useful. I'll just kind of point out too that we also have a calendar on each project, which is really useful to add events for different types of projects. If you go to the Everything tab at the top here, there's also a great view, which is a workload view. And this just really breaks down by user on each project, how much bandwidth everyone has, what kind of projects people are assigned to, how many tasks people might have assigned to, how much estimated time they would have given to each task, and how many they would have had complete. So for example, I'm a really unproductive employee because I have no tasks complete there. And then how many hours they may have still active or log time. So it just gives, if you're again a team leader or a manager, it gives you a really good overview as to what your team's bandwidth is looking like. And it can be really useful to help you for hiring more people or anything like that as well. So just trying to think here, what is the next best thing to look into?
One thing I'll jump on real quick is that the mobile app version of Teamwork is really terrific. I travel 200 days a year. And so in order to keep up with projects and progress and what I'm doing, what other people are working on, I use the mobile application a ton. It is really, really good. A significant majority of the functionality that Katriona is displaying is available in the mobile app, and I really appreciate that. It's really slick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that we have mobile and iOS apps, which is really useful. And the other thing to note about the mobile app is that, you know, the messages function that we spoke about earlier, if someone is leaving messages as part of a project, you can get a notification to your email on those messages, and you can just hit reply, and the message reply will come up as part of this message. So it is a really useful thing to be able to use on the go as well.
Katriona, let me ask you this. I know a lot of people in marketing probably have some sort of productivity software package. If they don't, they're probably doing it via Post-it notes in Excel right now, which I'm sure is tricky. And I think a lot of people have some sort of software. Maybe they're thinking, you know what? As we did, we switched from a competitor years ago to Teamwork. What's that process like now? It's been a while for me. How do you onboard people who are switching from, I don't know, Basecamp or something else? How do you go from what they're doing today to Teamwork without totally disrupting their entire company?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we have importers for all our major competitors. So I'm just go to the importer section here. Let's go to the project settings. Oops. So if you can see here that it's really easy to just quickly import all your data from any competitors that you might be using. So all you have to do is literally click import, and we can import all your data, and it'll be minimal disruption to your business. You can keep everything as it was in your projects and your task list, and all your data and your files and everything will just be transferred over across, and it's literally just clicking a button. The other thing about Teamwork is that we have a really, really top-notch support team. So if you're finding any issues with importing or even finding any issues with trying to use the product, they'll be on hand to help you straight away. And we also have a customer success team here at Teamwork. So they're really happy to help anybody that is even thinking about moving over or that wants to learn more about the product and how it's different to any of the competing products out there. So they'll be more than happy to jump on a demo with anybody and explain to them how the import process works as well. So we try and make it as smooth as possible for any new user. And we do have a really good adoption rate in Teamwork because our customers have commented to us that it is so easy to use that they find that their teams adopt and learn to use it really quickly. And because you can customize it so easily for your workflow as well. Yep,
agreed. Excellent. Anything else you wanted to show us, or should I ask you some other questions?
I think, you know what, Jay, there's so much to show in Teamwork. I don't even know where to I think that's just something important to highlight to people, is that the features are so granular and there is so much more additional functionality to Teamwork that you really just have to get in there and start playing with it. And as I mentioned, you can keep it as simple or as complex as you want, depending on your workflows. But, as you've seen there, as I've been going around the different menus and the different tasks, there is so many different ways of adding things and customizing things and adding features to really improve your productivity. So it is worth going in and having a play with it for yourself as well.
Completely agree. The other thing that I think is really worth talking about is your pricing schedule is really affordable and attractive for a lot of organizations. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so we have really flexible pricing plans. We have 4 different tiers of pricing. So we do offer a free plan, which is great. So on the free plan, you can have up to 5 users and you can have up to 2 projects. So it's actually really useful for people that want to use the test like for themselves and sort of test it out and see how project management software works if you haven't used it before. Some people here even use it for, like, if they're planning a wedding or a home remodel, they'll use a free plan for themselves. So we find that as well.
Oh.
Then we also
that's a level of organization that I can behind the teamwork schedule for the wedding. Although it probably makes sense, that would freak me out. But
yeah, we have a template if you want us to send it to you. So yeah, then we have the next plan up is the Pro plan. So the Pro plan is available for up to 100 users, and you can have up to 400 projects on the Pro plan. And we have that for $9 a month. And you can also access some of our integrations on the Pro plan as well. Then we have a Premium plan, and that offers premium integrations as well, such as our HubSpot integration and our Google Calendar sync, and some Microsoft OneDrive and projects integrations. And then we also have an Enterprise plan, which is really useful for some of our customers that may want some more enterprise level security. So for example, some of our customers will be working with some really sensitive data, and they just need some of those extra layers like single sign-on security and HIPAA compliance and things like that. So our enterprise plan is able to offer that to them. So we really have a plan for every type of team and every type of user.
And as I mentioned a moment ago, you can add collaborators from outside your organization pretty much at your whim.
Absolutely. So even though we have paid plans, we also have a second license type where people can add unlimited collaborators at no extra cost. So for example, some of our marketing agency customers find that a really useful one to be able to give access to clients. So collaborators can't edit any tasks, they can't edit any projects, but they can complete tasks and add comments to tasks. So it's useful if you want them to proof some work or to read over something or agree to something. And for example, we have a collaborator here that's a proofreader for us, so she works with us on tasks and proofs projects and things for us as well.
And you have a special offer for Marketing Marvels viewers, which is fantastic. If you go to teamwork.com/marvels, teamwork.com/marvels is a free 30-day trial of Teamwork. And I tell you, if you give yourself 30 days and you start playing around with this, you are going to fall in love as I did years ago when we first adopted the system. Anything you need to tell people about that?
So yeah, exactly. If you can go on, you can get a free trial of our Pro plan for 30 days. And like I say, we have our customer success team as well. And I'd really recommend, if you are doing a free trial, to jump on one of their webinars, because you can get in there and ask a lot of questions about your own specific workflow, and they will give you some really good advice as to how to use the product for your individual situation as well.
Yeah, they've seen it all. It's amazing. That role in your organization has always fascinated me, because they have seen every kind of project management schema, from super granular and detailed to basically a train wreck and everything in between. So I think that it's remarkable, all the different circumstances that they've come across, and they know exactly, oh, you should do this way. I'm like, oh, of course, but they just know, right? They're professional project management consultants essentially, and those are the things that they are trained to do for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've seen every type of use case and edge case. So you can throw out anything you've got at them and they'll be able to handle it.
So how did you end up at Teamwork in Cork? I mean, there's lots of things you could do. You're a project marketing manager. How did you end up at Teamwork of all places?
Yeah, well, I'm from Cork, which is the home of Teamwork here in Ireland. And I guess Teamwork is one of those companies that I've always would have been aware of, growing up in Cork as well, because it's one of those companies that's just really dynamic. It's growing really fast. Like, we're one of the largest Indigenous SaaS companies in Ireland right now. Before I joined here, I was working more on the PR and content marketing side with the consumer electronics brand. And then I moved a little bit more into the product side with some other software companies. And I've been at Teamwork for just over 6 months now in the product marketing role. And I have to say, it's one of the best company cultures I've ever seen. And the way that Teamwork puts the customer at the core of everything that we do and everything that we kind of create is something that I've never seen before. And I'm really excited to grow on the Teamwork journey and just be part of it.
Well, and I'm glad you mentioned sort of Teamwork's sort of size and growth rate in Cork, because one of the things that I think people would have a concern about is, hey, if we're going to change our project management software, we need to make sure that the horse that we're going to ride is going to be a horse in this race for a long time. And while Teamwork is still a fast growing company, it's not a startup, right? You're not a brand new company. I think we should talk about that a little bit.
No, absolutely not. So yeah, Teamwork is over 10 years old. We just celebrated our 10-year anniversary last year. We have 2 other products. We have a Teamwork Chat product, which is it's a free version of Slack, essentially. We also have a Teamwork Desk, which is a support desk. And we're bringing out 2 new products this year. And the vision for Teamwork really is to grow it into like a whole business management product suite that people can use to manage their whole business, right? And our 2 co-founders are really passionate about that vision. They're really passionate about growing the company. We've just opened 2 new offices here in Cork, 2 new satellite offices. We've got plans to open more offices globally as well. So there's no sign of Teamwork slowing down anytime soon, that's for sure.
Teamwork Chat, which is sort of your version of Slack, integrates with Teamwork projects, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So you can create a chat room specific to each project that you have on the product. And you can also create a task within a chat. So for example, if you're messaging me saying, hey, Katriona, can you put up that blog post? I can add that directly from the chat into one of my projects, which just makes it a really seamless way to be more productive, I guess, rather than having a bit more noise. You can be a little bit more productive.
That's the next thing we're going to add at Convince and Convert is Teamwork Chat. And when my team watches this episode of Marketing Marvels, they will be panic stricken because they're like, oh no, he's adding more stuff. But that's the, clean up the inbox, right? Keep the inbox.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can't wait to do that. So I will be in touch. We're to get that rolled out. Last question from me, Katriona O'Mahony, who is the product marketing manager at Teamwork, which we love and use every single day at Convince and Convert. What's a marketing marvel to you? Are there software packages out there in marketing technology you're like, you know what, I love this. I couldn't do my job as a marketer without it.
I guess at the moment, I really love marketing automation. So stuff like HubSpot and Marketo. So we're bringing on Marketo here at the moment as well. And I guess it's because, like, as I was saying, at Teamwork, we really focus on the customer. And I think the days of sort of the generic email blast are sort of over. And it's really more about how you can segment for each individual customer needs at the moment. And I really like the way marketing automation helps you to really get more insights on your customer preferences, where they are in their buying journey or where they are in their adoption journey, and helps you to deliver content that's actually really valuable for them. And that can actually really help them use the product in their daily lives. So I think, yeah, like marketing automation. And I'm really excited to see how like AI and sort of machine learning will sort of change the trend around that in the years to come, and what that will do for helping us as marketers with customer insights as well.
Yeah, sort of auto creation of email content, auto creation of subject lines, mining website behavior and saying, based on your behavior or even your behavior inside the product, we think these pieces of information you'd appreciate in an email update. Can't wait for that to be robotically controlled, because right now it is a lot of time and effort for human marketers to do that. Yeah, so the time is coming quickly. Yeah, the AI, big data, machine learning is right around the corner. So I can't wait as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any last words for our viewers? Katriona, don't forget, folks, go to teamwork.com/marvels for a free 30-day trial of the Pro plan. Teamwork.com/marvels. Anything else before we wrap it up?
No, I guess it's just to say that, yeah, what I did there was a really top level overview. I didn't want to overwhelm people too much with the granular features, but just to reiterate that there is a really granular functionality. So definitely go in and play with it yourself and try out the free trial.
Yeah, I mean, for real, I've been using this every day for 3-4 years now. And there's still stuff I discover on a regular basis. I'm like, I didn't know I could do that. And so, yeah, it's like the thread on the sweater. You start to pull it and all of a sudden you're like, there's a lot in there for sure. Absolutely. Thank you so much for the time. Thanks for working on a great product. We really appreciate support of teamwork, and thank you for helping us run our business at Convince and Convert as well. Can't wait to see the 2 new suites that you guys are rolling out as well. Exciting times. Katriona, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Jay. It was great to be here. Thanks. Bye now.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was another episode of Marketing Marvels. Every episode, we do a quick demo of marketing technology that you need to know about. You can miss 0 episodes if you go to bit.ly/Marketing Marvels. That's bit.ly/Marketing Marvels, all lowercase. That's the YouTube channel. Subscribe there, and we will send you a note, or actually YouTube will send you a note every time there's a new episode. So do that. That would be fantastic. I'm Jay Baer, founder of Convince and Convert. This has been Marketing Marvels, and we'll see you next time.